Welcome to Design Stand-Up, Episode 33, Principles for Designing Better Products, Part 2, by Eugen Eşanu of UX Planet. And I'm your host, Ryan Stone, reading to you every Tuesday and Thursday from the best blogs in the design industry, with their permission, of course. It's kind of like a free ongoing audiobook, always being updated with new content from your favorite designers. Whether you are a seasoned design professional or simply a design enthusiast, I am on a mission to help grow your knowledge in all things digital design. In today's post, Eugen finishes describing his 4 principles for designing better products. And before we get to today's post, I have a question for you. Do you like free stickers? Well, I just got an order of 50 fresh new stickers from Sticker Mule, and I'll tell you what, if you head over to iTunes or Google Podcasts right now and leave a short rating or review, I will send you some awesome Design Stand-Up sticker swag on the house. So without further ado, let's stand up. Principles for Designing Better Products, Part 2, by Eugen Eşanu of UX Planet. Principle number 2, a team of 3. Continued. What if you want to work with 4 or 5 people? Adding more increases mass. If your goal is to reduce the mass, then adding more is always a problem, because it requires someone to manage the team. But when you are in 3, you can improve the communication, you get all the time and focus, and you are able to design and build something great without any interruptions. You don't lose energy on processes and approvals. More people will always make things more complicated. Quote, you can do big things with small teams, but it's a whole hell of a lot harder to do small things with big teams. 3 keeps you honest. It requires you to make trade-offs. And most importantly, 3 reduces miscommunication and improves coordination. End quote. It's of course challenging to build new products or features in a team of 3, but that's the beauty of constraints. There's a widespread myth that to get a better picture, you need a larger canvas. Yet, every creative knows this to be untrue. Too much freedom can lead to mediocrity. Without boundaries, there's no incentive to break through them. The creative person, with limited resources, will not have any issue with innovating or creating something great. Principle number 3, doing nothing is an option. Change. Something humans don't love and are uncomfortable with. And this applies to products too. Especially when we make people use our newly released version of a product when they don't want or need to. Let's say that you are working on V2 of your product and are about to release it. What if there are people that don't want it and are comfortable with using V1 of your product? Most companies don't take this into account because they think, but V2 is better, why would you not want to switch? When Basecamp was working on redesigning their app, halfway through their process, they asked themselves, what if people don't want to move to a new version and they are used to their current one? Because moving from V1 to V2 means migrating the data, converting formats, and presenting an entirely new user interface. And they decided not to force the migration. Things won't change for current users, and the change was optional. This way, the company saved resources, time, and kept customers happy. And it's not only Basecamp who took this kind of approach. Another great example is FreshBooks, all-in-one small business, invoicing, and accounting solution. In this case, I was on the other end as a user and experiencing it myself. When they improved the product and released a new version of it, they made the transfer optional. So, you could switch at any convenient moment to V2. Moreover, you could switch between versions by keeping your data intact and see which one suits your needs better. You could play around and test things out. This way, you put less stress on your customers, save them time, and keep them happy. And if you are wondering, after playing around with the new version, I switched to it in a couple of weeks. But this happened only because I had the time to play around with V2, get used to it, and once I was convinced, I made the switch. And principle number 4, launch and learn. If you have been following my articles, you know that I wrote a couple of them about how easy it is to get lost in a process and always throw more at a problem. More time, more resources, more people, more testing, more debating, and so on. What we all miss is a dedication and discipline to deliver a product on budget and on time, then launch it on the market and learn from it. Instead, we debate endlessly whether we are implementing the right features, whether this is what's going to make our product unique. How is it going to fit in the grand vision? What about the roadmap and other energy-draining stuff? And you can continue questioning whether you are doing or designing it right or delivering something customers want. But unless you will launch it on the market, you will never know. No surveys, no user testing in the labs or closed environments, no user research will tell you if you design something great. Decide on an idea, build it in a small team within a short time frame, launch it on the market, and then learn. And this happens in any industry, whether you are shooting a movie, designing a game, or architecting a building. You don't know if people will love it, use it, or buy it unless you launch it. You can have internal meetings, debates, and discussions about it, but that's all subjective and can quickly go the wrong way. The guys from Basecamp even take it to the extreme. They don't show anything to their customers before it's launched. They don't do beta tests, they don't ask people what they would pay for it, or what they think about the product. They launch the product, and the market will tell them the truth. You can miss details, you can miss important stuff, but it is not the point. The risk is to present at any stage. So I debate about it when you can build, launch, and learn. I was having a similar conversation with a friend of mine who works in the game design industry, and we were talking about how people who design the greatest games ever launched didn't know anything about what they were doing. Of course, you have techniques, human psychology, past releases, mistakes learned, and other elements that allow you to not screw up. But unless you launch it and take a risk, you never know if it will work. In the end, it doesn't have to be crazy when you want to build a great product or feature. If you have the discipline and focus on keeping it clean and reducing the mass, you can design something great. But you won't solve anything if you throw more at a problem. You just listened to the post titled Principles for Designing Better Products, Part 1 by Eugen Eşanu of UX Planet. If you want to learn more about Eugen and read some of his other amazing design articles, just press the link in the show notes or head over to UX Planet at uxplanet.org. And don't forget, if you enjoy the show, make sure to head over to Apple or Google Podcasts and leave a quick rating or review. I'd love to hear your feedback. Well, that's all I have for you today, guys. It's been a pleasure. Until next time, fill up those coffees, turn up those tunes, and let's design a better world.